Hi, everybody, and welcome back to our second video in our three video series about midlife being the best chapter yet, or a fantastic opportunity for the best chapter yet. In last video, we spoke about the mind, and in this video, we like to talk about the body. And it's a big topic, so we're really excited to bring it. For those of you who don't know us, I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Abby Keene of Abby Keene Healing, and I work with midlife women who wish to step into their next chapter of more fulfillment, deeper meaning and purpose, and really feel like they are living in alignment with who they are and having the courage to kind of claim their voice, come out of hiding, and let the world see them in their various gifts. So this topic is very close to me and my work. And Yvette, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi again. I hope you got enough information from the first little video so we could then dive in a little bit more into our body. I am a nurse practitioner. I work with women, and the body part for me basically is the womb, as well as helping women through midlife, and helping them not suffer through the changes that are happening, because our body really is going through some changes. I work locally in a gynecologist office and really passionate about working with hormone balancing and women's healthcare, so we can really understand how our mind and body and spirit all really make us well. So I really feel fortunate to have these chats with Abby, because our work really kind of weaves with each other, from a physical, metaphysical, spiritual standpoint. So Abby, if I can pose a question to you,
Sure.
how does the role of your body play into the work that you do?
Okay, thanks for asking. Wow, I feel like I can say so much about it that it's going to require a lot of focus for me to keep it somewhat short, because I come from 20 some years of body work and working with people through their bodies, on their bodies. And so this is really, really close to my heart. And in my coaching programs, I really emphasize the body as a tool, which I will, you know, say more about. But so the body is an amazing tool. Our body is an unbelievable instrument. And our bodies hold all our biography, all our history. It's all embedded there. And our bodies don't lie. Our bodies always tell us the truth about who we are and how we're actually feeling, no matter how much our minds are trying to kind of bluff over it or be in denial. The body is like, can be an inner compass, really. So on our path towards transformation, or self-improvement, or becoming more of who we are, the body can be an amazing tool to better understand ourselves, and also to learn to ground and pause. So how can it be a tool for knowledge? It's very simple. It's actually quite simple. We have to look at how we feel in our body. And we tend to overlook it or feel like it's a nuisance in our way, but it's actually an indicator. So very simply, even when you spend time, for example, doing something or being with somebody, and your feeling from it is that of being depleted, or like burdened or irritated, your body's telling you that this activity or person might not be the right person for you, or there's something in that meeting is going against something in you. When you spend time doing things that make you feel excited and like alive and like turned on, and your body is telling you that there's something there for you. And the same goes for illnesses and diseases. And I'm going to let you talk about that more. But when we live in a way that does not align with a lot of who we are, it can come out in aches, pains, diseases, illnesses, etc. So just like the simple fact of tapping into the body and seeing, how does this make me feel? How does this food make me feel? How does this person make me feel? How does this activity make me feel? How does my job make me feel? Just simply doing that is such a huge thing to learn, what is true for me, and to trust that the body is telling you, it's trying to communicate with you. So I would say that is one thing. And there's a deeper layer to that through somatic work, where you can really tap in intentionally and purposely by leading people into their body and asking the right questions and actually bringing out information that can surprise us and is really potent about ourselves. The other thing I want to say about the body on this path to, self-improvement and to feel better about ourselves is that when we learn, and it's a practice, so it takes a while, but when we learn to come back into the body, into the actual sensation of the body, into our breath, we learn to pause. And we might be able to pause, to learn to pause before we react, and actually create a choice of how we want to act as opposed to just react automatically. So even the women that I work with, we deal a lot with self-judgments, with self-doubts, with insecurities, with that not enoughnesses. And that can be a whole bombardment of thoughts and old stories, which we spoke about in the first video. When we learn to pause, we can actually, instead of just going automatically into that cycles of thinking in this way, we can actually stop ourselves. We can learn to take a breath and ground, and we can learn to connect with the part of us that is not that is not this constant noise, but is separate. And so learning to ground and pause can be an amazing instrument in the path of trying to create new habits and new ways of being. And I'm not even talking about spirituality right now, because that's a whole huge topic about how the body can be of service in our spiritual practice. I'm really just talking even on the path to self-acceptance and self-love. And so the last point I want to make about embodiment, being embodied in our bodies, is that there is a feeling of coming back home. And I often even see it after a body work session. Somebody gets off the table and there's a quiet to them, right? There's like a feeling that they've arrived back into themselves. And in that space of being at home, we connect to the part of us that is not so harsh, that is not so critical. It's almost like we remember who we are, like beyond, like deeper than those layers of the judgments, the not enoughness, the proving ourselves, the striving, the pushing. It's almost like we can sink inward into that place of, oh, this is who I am. And I don't need to fight this person, because this is where I like to be. This is where I can sit comfortably in myself. So through the body, I can return inward into that space inside that feels more alive, more aligned, calmer, more relaxed, like as though something just falls off.
Love it.
So,
love it. Love it.
all that to say that the body holds amazing potential and amazing truth about ourselves. And it's a practice. So it takes practice and guidance to learn to tap into it and to trust in it
Mhm.
as a source of wisdom, of truth, and of a connection that I suspect we all crave. And I think that's it for now because
Mm.
there's so much I can say about that. And I want to hand it on to you because the body is such a huge part of your practice, being, talking about the body changing and
Mhm.
how can we cope with those changes and be in our bodies through that. So back at you.
So beautifully said, because the body is your home. And I really do think that this is how our work really complements each other, because I do believe from a nursing standpoint or a physical standpoint, right? The physical standpoint is we are who we in the midst of this change of midlife, because there are some chemical changes that are going on in your body that are real, right? The
Mm,
symptoms that you are feeling are real, but how not, I feel like you are able to realize that you are still you, and you are still home and safe in your body, even in the midst of change. And that's
mhm,
why I think that my work as helping people balance their hormones inside of their body really gives that opportunity to come back home to their house that they were already born in, right? Like that didn't
mhm.
really change. This home that you are in for this, we're human, living this human existence, right, in this body from the beginning that we were born to the day that we die. That's your home. So
Yeah.
you help women in midlife come back to their home with pause. And I really do think in menopause, that word
Mhm.
alone is pause, because from the research that I've done, and Christina Northrup, I'm going to throw out her name, because she was like when I was studying menopause and reading books about your body, she was like the guru. She went a little cool, as she got older, in a way. Maybe but she still preaches that pause is this transformation period of time, and it
Mm,
does not have to be negative. It is a positive, because it gives you that opportunity to pause,
yeah.
to pause and rebalance. So what my role is in the body is that how do we balance these hormones, because the hormones is what's in balance now,
Mm,
like I spoke about in the first video, is that in your brain you have your pituitary glands, and your pituitary gland has LH, FSH, TSH, cortisol, and insulin. So just to reiterate, those are what is housed in your brain. That talks to every, the organs in your body. So
right.
LH and FSH is what talks to our ovaries. So talking to our ovaries, that communication from our brain to our ovaries is now shut down. It needs a different pathway, because there's no more eggs to be. It's almost like them yelling to be like, FSH goes up, it goes really, 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 really high, like in a high hundreds. And that to me means that, oh, sorry, honey, you have no more eggs left, because it's working so hard to stimulate follicular stimulating hormone, to stimulate these follicles that not there. So you feel these changes, you feel
Mm,
these shifts in the LH and FSH, because that is your ovaries is what produces your estrogen and progesterone. And when you don't no longer have these eggs, it has to shift a pathway. And in menopause gives you this opportunity to pause, right? And see what are these symptoms that this disease or this imbalance is happening. And it doesn't have to be good or bad, but they're symptoms, right? Like, so I feel like the symptoms that you're experiencing in this pause gives you the opportunity to say, ooh, are these symptoms affecting my quality of life?
mm,
Hot flashes. I feel like the majority of women, like 90% women who go through hormonal changes from perimenopause to menopause, experiences hot flashes, just
mhm.
because your body has to recalibrate the thermostat. because estrogen and progesterone and TSH, all of this pituitary gland is where the thermostat is. So when you don't have enough estrogen and the estrogen is now lower, how do we adjust that thermostat, right?
Yeah.
Literally, how do we adjust our thermostat in our house? At nighttime, we are going to lower it to less than 69 degrees,
I don't know, man. My thermostat is so all over the place. It's ridiculous. I'm either like sweating with a hot flash
Right.
or I'm like so cold. So do tell me more.
Yeah. So knowing that this is happening, right? And then what I think understanding and working together is that we develop a relationship because estrogen replacement will help your hot flashes, right? But then with that coming into your body with you is this good for me? There's risks and benefits, pros and cons to everything that you put in your body externally. And we do have everything we need inside of us. I think in different countries, I have to do some research about this, about like how many women suffer, from menopause in different countries. I think, no, they don't. In my practice, just seeing different ethnic backgrounds, some women, it's not suffering for them. It's just a rite of passage. And I think that in Western culture, right? We're Western culture.
Oh yeah, we are.
Western culture puts a disease category to hot flashes, but does those hot flashes affect your everyday life? Are you able to flow with it? Are you able to kind of say, okay, here it comes. I'm going to fan myself, put some cold water on my face, and I'm going to rock and roll with it. And then you get in tune to your body, get into your body is like, okay, now I have triggers from these hot flashes. When I'm getting anxious, my hot flash is coming up. When I'm drinking alcohol, my hot flash is coming up. When I am drinking too much sugar or an inflammatory diet, my hot flash is coming up. So working with women, that hot flash doesn't necessarily have to be treated just by hormone replacement, and I think that developing relationships and really talking about this stuff, we can come to a different way that everybody can come back into their body in a safe, trusted way that works for them. Because there is no protocol or prescription for one person with hot flashes. I think it's an individualized approach. There's other symptoms like vaginal. We can talk about all of the different symptoms that come back when your body is in this balance, imbalance, sorry, to get it back into balance.
But you know what you make me think of, which I think is like kind of a theme about this, is the word acceptance comes to me as you speak, because I feel like there's something so, like you said, maybe in other cultures, it's a rite of passage. And it made me think about accepting what I am handed. Right now, I'm handed menopause, and I'm handed these changes, and I can kind of cry and moan about it and kind of be a victim to my circumstances, or I can take the reins in my own hands and I can make choices that are better for me, or decide that I'm not making the choices that are better for me, but I'm going to live with the consequences. But it's like, can I accept that this is the point in my life where I'm at? And honestly, like, unless you're going to die young, we're all going to go through it, and nobody's spared. And so can I accept it? And also, can I accept that I might want help, that I might want, to take hormones and slow this process down? Like, can I accept it as it is, in the same way that can I accept that I am who I am and I don't need to change myself, on the path to becoming, a better version of me, that I can accept, first of all, that I am who I am, and that is great. And the becoming, I think we spoke about it last time, the becoming is in the lenses I wear and in the acceptance of myself. So as you speak about bodily changes, I feel like there's a psychological aspect of, can I accept that this is where I'm at? And can there be an empowerment in that too?
Yeah. And that's the connection between the mind and the body itself is because those are your thoughts in your mind, right? And who you are. There are some women, everybody's different. Acceptance for everybody is different, right? There are some women that cannot accept not having sex anymore, or cannot accept having painful sex, because that sexual being part of them is what made who they thought they are, right?
Yeah.
And then that changes. And I think, again, knowledge is power, knowing that, okay, there are going to be changes in every organ in my body. There's going to be changes in my brain. There's going to be changes in my breast, my gut, my vagina, all of these changes. And the changes might not be, might be painful. And, because I'm a sexual being, and because having sex is painful, I want to go down this route. Give me that estrogen 100%.
Yeah.
If it's gonna make who I am as a sexual being, not take that part away. We can always redirect. And again, because that's where the pause comes in, because there are also some women's like, I'm done, shop closed. My vagina was meant for babies. Now it's closed. I can't think about it anymore. It's too painful. And we have a different way of connecting with my partner. We just come to an agreement that part of our relationship is over, and we redefined our intimacy, and that's okay too. But I think the way of knowing and understanding, because women say to me is like, oh, I wish somebody told me that. I'm 62 and I suffered for the last 52 years and I don't have, the desire to be with my husband. I wish somebody told me that that doesn't have to be, so I feel like getting into your body, knowing that this body is your home, and trusting what you need to have a sustained, healthy, vital, vivacious quality of life, is what I would love, and my passion to help people are. No, we can't stop aging. There's no such thing as anti-aging. There's a whole marketing thing about anti-aging. No, we age. How do we age? The way that I feel comfortable aging, morph, into that person who is more vivacious, who has more, life inside of them. Is it estrogen? I don't know. It might be for you, might not be for me. And I do think sleep is part of the number one symptom that older people think that, oh, I'm just old and I don't sleep. No, it's you should sleep. You need to sleep to live a vivacious life. So even just helping with that symptom alone, I feel like I'm helping women transition and pause.
Yeah.
That's what you need, the sleep to pause.
And I think the empowerment here, if you don't mind me saying, is in the fact that I get to choose what's right for me, and not just choose, but learn to listen. And I feel like that's, once again, is how do we learn to listen to our bodies? Because even with, yes, I want to continue having sex, or no, I don't want to continue having sex, your body will inform you. Your body, if you learn to listen, will tell you, when no is no. And when you're saying yes, when you mean no, you feel it in your body, you feel your reaction, you feel your resistance, you feel your triggers. And so if you learn to listen, it will tell you what is your truth and what is right for you.
Right. Because maybe, again, right for you, right? What about if you're just having sex for your partner and that it hurts and you don't want to have sex? So no matter, that's part of the mind and the body. And we'll get into the next talk is because this is your womb, this is my body part. The body part, to me, second chakra, vagina, it holds a lot. And for some women, sex is a super triggered state, and being able to take that pause and say, wait, maybe I don't have to use it like that. Or maybe, wait, like I could whatever. So,
I love that. Your son just passed by talking about,
I see him to get the car keys.
the younger generation.
The car keys. Yeah. So I think, right on cue.
But I want to say something, sort of kind of an aside. I think we were speaking about it earlier today, that What I really wish for, and I think a lot of women would share that with me, and I feel like this is definitely a work in progress, which we are all trying to, because everything we're saying here is, it's not like we've overcome it all and we're, let me tell you about it.
No, right
No,
in
we're
it.
all struggling with it.
We're
We're
in
all
it.
in the thick of it.
Yeah.
And what I noticed for me, and this is more mind than body perhaps, is like every time I pass a mirror, I complain about myself in my head. I judge myself. I'm like, oh, look at this wrinkle. Oh, look at your hair. Oh, look at your back. And it's always this negative self-talk, like I don't pass the mirror and say, oh, look at you. You're so cute. Or I don't pass the mirror and say, oh my God, I love you so. What a great person you are. I immediately go into my self-judgment and like, look at your skin. It's so flat. When did my skin become so flabby? Like all this excess skin, like wrinkles and like empty, like an empty bag. and
No, that's
and
horrible.
I and so I just wanted to put it out there that, this is something we're all trying to work on. Like we say, let's accept ourselves as we are, but it's definitely a work in progress. And it definitely requires almost like being extra active and intentional so that when talk about that pause between reaction and action, when I pass by that mirror and I catch myself saying something kind of mean to myself, like, look at the baby, and I say, oh, you always do that.
Yeah.
And then intentionally pause, maybe in front of the mirror, take myself in, change the narrative. Look at
You're
you.
beautiful.
You're beautiful. Look at your life, the life you live. Look how it's etched in your face. Look at your experiences. Look at your wisdom. So I'm putting this out there, that we want to accept our situation in our body.
Mhm.
And
You don't have to suffer.
you don't have to suffer, and it might not happen instantaneously, and this is something that requires work and
Work.
awareness and perseverance, but it feels
Yeah.
very worth it.
Yeah. I think the take home is take down the mirrors, number one, because if you take down the mirrors, then you're able to get back into your body and really be able to feel the balance and feel, because sometimes I feel a lot younger than I really am, like,
Mm,
so if I looked at myself in the mirror, I still feel like I look younger than I am, but I take down those mirrors, take down the
mhm.
mirrors, get into your body. And unfortunately, because I say unfortunately, because change is happening.
Yeah.
And in midlife, there is some, I don't think there's any women that go, um, unscathed without feeling some kind of symptom of menopause.
Right.
But you have the opportunity to pause, right? And really feel, what is the imbalance in my body that it is. It could be as easy as getting rid of sugar in your diet.
Right.
It could be so simple as getting a good night's sleep,
Yeah.
but I do think that estrogen helps with a lot of things, that if women are suffering, it could be one of those tools, and the tools that we can share together is you getting back into your body and using your body as a tool, right? Your body is the tool, but that's where the knowledge comes in, is that sometimes your tool needs a little oil or grease
Yeah.
for it to work the way that you want it to work for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Yeah. And that it seems like you always have the choice
You always
to
have the
take
choice.
matters into your own hands and make the
100%.
choices that are true
Right.
for you, both for your body and,
Yeah. Yeah. And I
the,
think working together, I would love to have, like, okay, because wouldn't it be great to have practitioners that helped with the mind, get into the body, but then I'm going to give you the oil and grease so your body
yeah,
can then work in sync with your mind, and you can
yeah.
live your life through vitality and without judgment or fear, and with self-love and compassion.
Amen. Amen. All right. Any last words? Or that felt like whoop, like a nice
Yeah, no, I'm excited to, really sit and dive in and say how the spirit comes into place, because um, without having some kind of trust right? And I think this is where the spirit comes into place.
Mhm.
Is that, and maybe we'll tie it together, with the third video, is that you have to trust your body,
Yeah.
and sometimes the thoughts and your patterns is telling you otherwise.
Yes, I think for me, that is the bottom line, that there's there's a bigger chance that your body will tell you the truth than if you listen to it, than if you listen to the old stories in your head
Mhm.
of, the judges, the comparisons, the not enoughness, the keeping up with, and all that. So the invitation here for anybody is how to tap into the body and move to the body and listen to the body so that you know what your next choice can be.
Yeah. Yeah. And make the next chapter even better than the last.
Amen. All
Thank you,
right.
Abby.
Thank you, Yvette. To be seen again soon.